Haha. It's always good to figure out my separate lives for TikTok and YouTube because half the time I swear I am really bad at, and I'm live. My notifications for myself just popped up. So we're good to go. It's legit. We're good. And yeah. But here we are. Everything's good. I'm glad when I have everything set up correctly. And we're 10 minutes early. It's better early than late. I hate being late, and half the time I feel like I'm late to everything. So yeah. But I have everything figured out, everything good to go. And now I just gotta pull some things up to include. Open new Lincoln tab. So, hello, Brett. How are you doing? Hello, Blessed with Pets. How are you? Like I said, I'm live here and I'm live down here. So, we're good to go. I think. So, anytime I am on time is a good time. And while I'm also here, I figured I'm pulling up some other stuff, trying to work everything out, including for our Facebook page, making sure everything's good to go. And I feel like I'm running ragged. But I have some new studies to throw onto, some new studies to throw onto the Facebook page when it comes to rabbit studies. I have a favorite researcher who has some new stuff on. His name is Cameron Kahn. He has some really great stuff when it comes to research and development when it comes to rabbits. One of my favorites from his right now is growth, performance, and meat quality of rabbits under different feeding regimes. It's a little wordy for a page, but it's really interesting. How can you clean yellow feet on rabbits? I like a hydrogen peroxide mix. So depending on how bad it is, I normally dilute it out to at least 50%. You put it on there and then it brings out that yellow real nice. And this is coming from a person who breeds blue-eyed whites. So I definitely understand the need for having nice, bright white coloration when it comes to rabbits. So hydrogen peroxide is my best friend. Same with if you ever clip the quick on a toenail, you do the same thing. Hydrogen peroxide to get that bloody color off of the fur. Hey, Rune, how are you doing? I'm making a video just because of you, Rune, for my YouTube. I can't guarantee when it's going to be out, but your last inquiry on my Silver Fox video, I'm going to be looking at that. I'm doing great. Talked to a friend in Thailand. He got to go over and judge rabbits and guinea pigs. Nice. That's really cool, actually. I want to go to Thailand. Haven't got the chance, though, but someday I will. Hey, I love all your contacts. Thank you for sharing all your experiences. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for watching. Oh, awesome. Looking forward. Right, you and there was one other person. I can't remember off the top of my head, though, the name of the person who was asking about size equivalency and the importance of size when breeding rabbits, which is a huge thing. When we're talking about breeding rabbits is how important size matters when we're breeding rabbits, especially when we're looking at the standard of perfection. And personally, when it comes to the standard of perfection, I prefer a rabbit that goes oversized as a senior than undersized. But I'll get into that. We're going to talk about that more within the video. I got a reserve and show at Show B in, I'm not sure if that's Puria. I can't pronounce that, but nothing compares to that feeling. Congratulations. That is absolutely amazing. Congrats. That's amazing. Hey, what's the best way to hold a rabbit when flipping them to do checks for pinched? Give me a second. I'll go grab Daisy for this example. Give me 2 seconds. I'll go grab the rabbit. Come here, Daisy girl. All right. Come here. She's normally spicy too, so maybe we'll have a really. Let's do it in your babies real quick, Daisy girl. Oh, my fat mama. Let's try to talk with how fat you are. All right. Here we go. All right. So everyone knows Daisy. Daisy just had babies. See, size is important. Size always matters. Size always matters. Give me a second to get her calm, and I'll show you how I flip her, or any rabbit really. So Daisy, YouTube can't really see me, but Daisy is in my lap. Why do you feel like you've been laying in something wet? Probably because you heathen. That's why I hate solid bottoms. Where have you been laying that's wet? Just changed your bedding, unless you've been playing with your water bottle. All right. So I have my rabbit here. If I want to check to see if they are bowed or hawk or that kind of thing, first, when we're looking at a pinched rabbit, when we're looking at a rear angle, we want them to have this formation, a nice big U formation. So their hind should look like this, a big U. So for my YouTube people, our rabbit should have a nice U formation on their rear end. If they have this formation, a V formation on their butt, they are pinched. It's sometimes hard to see depending on fur type on your rabbits, but remember, you want this formation and not that formation. Is in Illinois, same show, Mary from MMC. Oh, heck yeah. Okay, thank you. That gives me a better idea. I'm not good at states or cities, but I'm good at states. But no, that is really amazing that you did so well. Like, top notch. Congratulations. All right. So if I have my rabbit, my YouTube people, my rabbit's just in my arms. I have her head tucked under, and I'm just going to flip her. Just like this. Onto her back. My YouTube people onto her back. Just like so. Ta-da! So, again, just flip her. Normally I have her here. And remember, I'm not grabbing her ears. I am supporting the back of her neck, and my fingers are coming under her ears. So that's all you do to flip them over, and then you look at their feet. She's like, I don't appreciate you for doing that, mother. But that's how you flip your rabbit over when it comes down to it. Have you seen the Rent-A-Coop top filled water bottles on Amazon? They have cups instead of metal balls. Thinking of getting them. Thank you. Daisy is gorgeous. She's my Harlequin. Horrible markings for a Harlequin. Do not get me wrong. She has horrible markings for a Harlequin. But she's gorgeous, and she's my Vienna mark, so she produces blue-eyed white babies. In fact, she has 2 out of 4 babies in her litter right now that are blue-eyed white. But again, that's just the way I flip over my rabbit. Just real simple. Not that hard. At least not with my rabbits. It just takes a lot of handling. Daisy is totally used to my nonsense and flipping. But yeah, she's a good girl. Although she, because she just had babies and she's been pulling fur, we have fur all over the place. Her litter, absolutely gorgeous. I did have a throwback though that I'm not the most happy with. She's a chocolate carrier. Little frustrated by the fact that my blue-eyed white carrier is a chocolate carrier. But it makes sense because I didn't know. Okay, so when I first started breeding blue-eyed whites quite a few years back, I didn't know the chocolate rule. So with blue-eyed whites, you're supposed to keep chocolate out of your lines. And I bred a Vienna carrying chocolate into my lines to perpetuate the blue-eyed white further down the line. Did not know you weren't supposed to breed chocolates in the booze. Felt dumb. I still feel dumb over this. So every once in a while, I have a throwback in the version of a chocolate, which is frustrating. So these next babies, I'm just going to have to very carefully look at the red reflect in their eye. Hopefully my boos don't have a red reflect. But even if they do, I'm going to keep the best of type and breed it out because y'all know it's been about a year since I've had a boo because genetics for the past year have just hated me. I should have gotten boos, and genetically I should have. And they're all just like, you thought you were some Vienna carriers. But yeah. Thank you. Someone explained it to me. It was so confusing. Basically, you just flip them over real easy, right? If their feet are like this, it's good. If their feet are like this, it's bad. You want this, and preferably you want your feet to be like this compared to this. You want that nice wide base. If you saw my video on TikTok about Velma, you see she has a nice wide stance with her feet pointing forward. That's what you want. You want that wide base that equates to depth in the rabbit. For my YouTube people, I was showing off Velma because we got sore hawks in one of my comment sections, and I was playing the sore hawks here's what good feet look like game. And so I flipped her over, and Velma just has this really nice wide base. And again, nice wide base with nice height. What we want in mini Rex, remember, balls are good, nice and deep. Balto, no. But yeah, I just got an otter Rex today. Heck yeah, I love otters. Otters are more prevalent in my Rex lines, but I have some new otters in my mini Rex I'm kind of excited about. I have a chocolate otter and a black otter. I do not, for my YouTube people, y'all know I don't need any more variety in my mini Rex, but maybe. That scared the crap out of me. My dog started barking and I thought another dog was here. No. That's my husky puppy. He's kind of dumb. Will you be live next Tuesday? I should be unless something happens. I try to be live every Tuesday. What age do you start checking kits to distinguish show versus call quality? Day 0. And I know that's controversial, but when it comes to calls versus non-calls, markings are one of the first things I look at. Awesome, that's my birthday. Heck yeah! Hopefully I can be live for you, Blessed with Pets, and we can wish you a very happy birthday. My stock really like throwing pinched narrow buns. Completely understand. I had a doe. Every single litter, she threw the worst pinched buns, and it was absolutely ridiculous. And it was so frustrating. I don't have that doe anymore. I got rid of that doe. Well, I didn't get any out of one doe, but I have another doe due Friday. She's a proven mom. Hopefully she gives me some cuties. Fingers crossed for you. I was in a I'll call it kit drought for about 2 months. And I was so upset by the fact that I didn't have babies until a couple days ago. So I went 2 months between litters. Technically, I had a litter in between, but Nina was a horrible mother. Horrible mother. How can genetics influence dental health, like better lights? Oh, we can definitely talk about dental health when it comes to rabbit teeth. That is a huge thing. All right, so when we talk about rabbit teeth, there are a couple of things we see with rabbit teeth. So these are my teeth. You want the top tooth to come over the front tooth. If they're sitting on top of each other, you'll hear it in the rabbit world called budding. And then if the bottom tooth comes up over like this, a lot of times you'll hear it called wolf teeth. Again, you want that top tooth to come over the bottom. Basically, when we're looking at teeth alignment, if they aren't properly aligned like this, they don't rub against each other, meaning we don't get the proper filed down teeth. And the same as in the back as well. Because remember, when we look at a rabbit's jaw, not only do we have these front teeth, we have molars in the back. And these molars in the back grind up our vegetation, rubbing against each other, making sure we file down. So when we look at dental health as a whole, not only are we looking at the front teeth and how they sit against each other, but we're also looking at the back teeth. Teeth that sit appropriately in the mouth equate to a better, healthier bunny. Meaning that they are able to grind that food appropriately, meaning that they're able to keep a better condition. Normally what we see in rabbits that have bad teeth, they start to lose condition. And that a lot of times is before we actually see the side effects of the teeth kind of sitting improperly against each other. So the rabbit starts losing condition because it can't appropriately grind its food. So what we want is, pardon me, I thought I was going to sneeze. So what we want is those teeth to sit appropriately to equate to the rabbit using the right weight. And it's going to equate to better condition. It's going to equate to better health. It's just going to be better in the long run overall. That's why in a lot of rabbit forums, you'll see people who say, cull rabbit with bad teeth. Ricardo! No, not what? No. 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 So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back on the comments. I'm gonna hit YouTube first. Let's see here. I think the first show just wasn't ready. I rebred her and she took much easier this time. Heck yeah, fingers crossed that you get some nice babies. My bird is screaming. I tried, y'all. We're just gonna ignore that. This is gonna be a thing. Rick is just having a moment. Still in my kit drought since May. Well, hopefully with the summer coming up, Blessed with Pets, you're going to have a better luck having kits. And I think my buck is sick. Why do you think your buck is sick with Blessed with Pets? Let's talk about that. Is he eating? Is he drinking? Is he pooping accordingly? Is he looking lethargic? What's going on with him? All right. I'm going to back up a little bit on the TikToks. I have hair in my nose from this rabbit on my lap. All right. My stock really liked them. Okay, so that we talked about dental health. And with the genetics and the dental health, good teeth bred to good teeth equals good teeth. Bad teeth bred to good teeth can be a hodgepodge of nonsense. I find it hard finding silver fox where I'm at that have good depth as well. Are you coming to nationals in October? I have a show this weekend. Heck yeah. Hopefully it goes really well for you. This weekend I'm going to go visit my folks in Ohio. The green thing in my ear is an earbud. It's just for me to talk to the peoples because I love the peoples. Let's see. Day, beautiful and amazing lady. Hello. How are you doing? But yeah, that's an earbud. I love these things, except for my right one's broken, so only my left one works, which is absolutely frustrating. He feels really bony and skinny and hasn't eaten. He's not tame and doesn't care. I pick him up. It's my home lot buck. I think he might be dehydrated. Blessed with Pets, if you can't get him eating and drinking and you don't know how to do inner, just one way. My mind is Blessed with Pets. Sugar water. If you can't get him eating and drinking, you need to take him to a vet. That's the biggest thing. Rabbit starts eating and drinking, you can't stimulate it. Vet. But I did lose my my mind on what I was going to say in between what you're doing now and vet. There's something else. My mind. I'll think about it in a second and get back to you though. How old is your bunny? Daisy is just over a year old, about a year old, something like that. But she's only one of 25 we have currently. But yeah, she's about a year old. Give or take a month or so. And she's a good girl. She's just chilling. Hopefully my vet is open. Their clinic caught on fire. Oh, that's horrible. Jeez. Hopefully they are doing okay. That really sucks. Yeah, Daisy's about a year old. She's just a sweet thing. She's just the sweetest thing. Although she did chew on me the other day, and I was not appreciative of her doing that. Did you pee on me? I really hope you don't pee on me. That'd be not appreciated. I'm breeding this weekend a couple of French lops, maybe a mini lop. Weaning this weekend's too. Nice. Let's say lops. Weaning this weekend a couple French lops. I'm thinking of English lops. That's what I'm thinking of. My mind just totally blanked out, and I have. I don't know if anyone else does that, where they have like a series of things they want to say, and then all of a sudden it's like completely gone out of their brain. We have a breeder in Colorado that's really big. Not on yeah, she's big on French lops. I thought she said English, and I don't know why. She's really big on French lops, and she normally brings like a lot to show. Like a lot. Like their entire cage system will take up an entire corner, and it's absolutely outrageous. But they are just like the sweetest people. I love that breeder. I'll be breeding my lops and elops this weekend too. Heck yeah, we're gonna have some lop babies soon. Everyone's having some lippity loppity babies. That's absolutely fantastic. Oh, Ricardo, why are we screaming? You've been quiet all day, and then I start talking on live, and you want to start screaming. Sometimes I think he thinks it's a joke. Honestly, I do this too. Like, he'll be quiet all day, and I'll get on a work call, and he's like, haha, let me show you the songs of my people. And I was like, dude, is it just because I'm talking? Like, it got to a point where there are just times I will bring him in here to sit on the back of my chair during work calls, so he just quiet. Because otherwise, what? Because otherwise he just screams. And it's like, dude, you don't need attention every second of the day. I promise you are okay. But he'll sit there and mimic, and it is hilarious when he really gets mimicking. Not screaming, but mimicking, and it's hilarious. Especially when he starts calling the dogs. I'm breeding my American Fuzzy Lops at the end of the month. Everyone's just breeding their lops. Maybe I need to get a lop. I'm kidding. I'm not getting a lop. Lops are not a thing I'm looking at. Just because not really an option where we are. What is the biggest meat rabbit with the best meat to bone ratio? Either your Californians or New Zealanders are going to be your best meat rabbits overall. They're a commercial meat breed of rabbit. With that being said, I don't like their personalities. Pretty much. Thank you. This is Daisy. She is my Vienna marked Harlequin. She is my blue-eyed white carrying doe right now. I'm sitting here giving the puppies water, and it took me quite 5 minutes to realize there was a chicken in the mix. I've been trying to breed my Holland Lops. Absolutely nothing. Well, I guess we've talked about it before, Blessed with Pets. There are a lot of people who are just flat out struggling with breeding right now and haven't had babies in the longest time. We can get into the conspiracy theories of it, but there was something that just came out. I can't remember his name, but he's one of the top poultry researchers in the United States, and they just did a review on feed from Purina and if it could affect hens laying and the nutrition behind it. And they found the findings negative. So if you've been on TikTok lately and you've seen everyone freaking out about feed, there was just that article that came out from him basically saying that there's nothing wrong with the feed. And again, he's one of the top poultry researchers in the United States. And I'd love to hear y'all's theories about that, if it's conspiracy or not. Let's see. RX is good dual purpose breed for pelts and meat. That's my middle cat. I love my Rex. My Rex are absolutely fantastic. I love them for meat and pelts. My New Zealanders are friendly. Can't breed them until March, though. Breeding for fair meat pen fairs in July. Heck yeah, you'll have to tell me how you do with that. And I'm so happy the New Zealanders work out for you, because I just don't like them. Like, they're a great meat rabbit. I will, like, anybody asks me top meat rabbits, they will always be my top meat rabbits. I just don't like them. There's a theory that it's the feed, no eggs from chickens, and no babies from rabbits. And again, I don't necessarily know what to believe on that. And I just find it interesting that I need to figure out this guy's name. I just saw it on a report this morning I was reading. But like I said, this researcher came out and said that it's not a feed issue. And again, I'm kind of biased in this and believing him because I haven't had laying issues. And I feed all kinds of things. With the rabbits, we've been having some back and forth issues with babies, but I don't necessarily think it's the feed. I think my rabbits are fat sometimes. And we still have been having litters. But it's back and forth on what it is. And I love hearing the conspiracy theories. I am not going to lie. I feed Lone Star. Okay. Yes, she is a Vienna marked Harlequin. This is my blue-eyed white doe, or blue-eyed white doe carrier. She just gave me two blue-eyed white babies. She's absolutely fantastic. I love her. Um, I use Heinhold 4 class and local feed 6 class, no issues. Love both feeds. I'm having the worst trouble with Heinhold. Do you keep? How do you keep weight off does? Diet. What dewormer do you use? Horse dewormer, ivermectin. This year has been bad for breeding so far. In 2023, I've only had 3 of 15 survive. I completely agree. Breeding this year has been horrible compared to last year, but I'm still getting litters, so I'm a little back and forth on it. But I see a rise in production about a week after the switch. No, I definitely understand that. I've been hearing a lot of people say that when it comes to eggs, when it comes to raising rabbits. I've heard it. I just think it's interesting that the study just came out with this, or rather, the one of these top researchers came out with this when it comes down to it. Because again, I like poking things. I like poking things with sticks. So I like to go both sides and see what people think to kind of like create a conversation. Because I'm kind of like just in the middle. Because I could definitely see where feed could be a problem depending on what's in there, especially if they're dropping fat levels, right? But also, there are other factors that could play into it. So I'm right in the middle there. Maybe it's weather, all of the rubber banding with it. It could definitely be weather as well. Sunshine is another thing, like how much light they're getting. My rabbits are on Blue Seal Show Hutch, and I love it. I have never heard of that brand before. I am mixing Heinhold with Grow again. Unfortunately, I will probably not find Heinhold anymore, which is disappointing because I was really excited for it. But I'm gonna burn through this Heinhold. We're going back to Grow, and I'm just gonna buy for the time and not for the month. So. Oh well. I finally accumulated heavy glass bowls for every rabbit, water, and food. Crocs and glass bowls, beautiful, gorgeous. We love them. I love them in my rabbitry. I'll be getting a litter sooner than intended. My new tort is definitely a buck and definitely bred his sister before I realized. Legit. I've had sibling pairings before, both half and whole. They don't do bad. It's just how everything goes. It can either be fantastic or a complete mess. Let's see here. No, absolutely not. I missed what Coffee and Dogs said. Can rabbits eat hay and no pellets? So I say no, they can't. They, especially if you're doing Timothy hay, the protein levels aren't high enough. You need to supplement with something else. And then also when we look down at just hay in general as a food in and of itself, remember it's mostly fiber over nutrition. And when you have something that's extremely heavy in fiber, they don't necessarily get the calories that they should be getting. Now, I'm not saying that it is impossible. I'm saying it's very unlikely that it's a good idea, and that it's going to take a lot more input into your rabbit than output. So you're going to be putting more into the rabbit than they gain. It's just not worth it as a whole. Not to mention, you're going to end up losing a lot more rabbits due to a very slow starvation, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just not the best idea. I'll hope for fantastic, right? How much food do you measure for small breeds? I'm bad about measuring. 1 ounce per pound, all breeds. So my mini Rex normally get like a 1/4 cup in the morning, 1/4 cup at night, get about a 1/2 cup. That's about 4 or 5 ounces-ish. Let's see. I would change the feed and don't list the ingredients anymore. That's sketch. Are there any vaccinations? If I have a rabbit that's around for a while, I do the RHV2 vaccine if it's in stock, but the rabbit has to be at least 6 months old for me to dictate it as worth it. What do they get for? Oh, wrong button. What do they get from pellets they can't get from grass? That's what rabbits eat. Okay, so yes and no. Remember rabbits in the wild, when we're looking at the European rabbit, so what these rabbits are based off of, right? Because remember, we're looking at domestication. The difference between a wild rabbit European rabbit to today's domesticated rabbit is thousands of years apart, unless you somehow have like a first gen, second gen wild European rabbit. So, but if you have these kind of rabbits right here, these are domesticated rabbits. So because of the separation between those and these in the domestication, there are some differences when we're looking at feet. With that being said, also keep in mind that when we're looking at the wild rabbit, how long do you want your rabbits to live? Because we're looking at a wild rabbit population, at most they live 1 to 2 years on average in the wild. In captivity and theory, you can have them live anywhere from 5 to 10 years, depending on breed and a lot of other instances when it comes to health and overall general ideas of a rabbit. So, and then also when we look at rabbits in the wild, they're not just eating grass. One of the largest inputs of rabbit fodder for wild rabbits is brambles, like blackberry brambles, which are a higher protein content. So they're not necessarily just eating grass, because what happens is people conflate the wild cottontail rabbit with the European rabbit, which are two completely different species from two very different parts of the world. So keep in mind, one, it's not just grass. Two, we have a very long extended process of domestication from the wild source to the domesticated source, which have been kind of bred down to take a specific kind of food. So there's a lot of things that go into feeding. Now, you asked what goes into a fodder or a food that they don't get naturally. When we look at grass, grass is normally only 11 to 13% protein. When we're looking at the domesticated rabbit, depending on age, depending on purpose, we want anywhere from a 16 to 18% protein. So that grass doesn't have enough protein, especially if we're talking about a timothy grass or a hay grass. Now, if we're talking about a legume grass or a clover grass, we are going to see that rise in protein, but a lot of times it's still not going to meet that 16 to 18%. So we're not going to see that. Also, when it comes to a complete pellet, they are making sure to get all of our vitamins and minerals and nutrients and our micros that aren't necessarily in the grass that we are giving. Especially when you look at grass hay from a standpoint of, is it cut 1, 2, 3, or 4? Remember, as we get further into the cuts, they're higher in sugars and carbohydrates, which are also very difficult on the rabbit's digestive system, and we might see a rise in things like bloat and GI stasis. So there's a lot that goes into grass compared to pellet. Grass is not a confirmed, this is what is in it. There's a lot of fluctuation in it, both for cuttings and type, compared to pellet, where it's more rounded out and we know more of what's in it. And although there is a margin of error, the margin of error of hay is a lot higher than the margin of error in a pellet. That's my spiel. I'm going to step back now. I know I'm made for 4 classes, not 6. So it just doesn't work for them. I feel that. 4 class rabbits, not 6. See, that's the thing, right? For Heinhold. It depends, because some of the formulas are definitely looked at as a 6 class. So I can see where you're coming on from some of those formulas, but some of the other formulas are definitely made for meat rabbits. I had the Orin feed, and the guy who I got it off of, he raises satins, and satins I do believe are a 6 class. I've heard that that a rabbit's first 2 litters are their best litters. Is that true? It depends. I've had some that they are, some that they aren't. Just depends. I got our first litter. Congratulations, Keith. That's so exciting. I have a rabbit. She gave birth to babies. They are now 4 weeks old, and she's biting and chasing. Depending on your breed, some breeds they wean at so weaning, depending on what realm of schooling you go by. Weaning can start anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. And that just depends on your lines. It depends on your breed. It depends on purpose, all kinds of things, right? A lot of times, if they're about that old and mom is chasing and biting and showing aggression, I will start weaning early. And again, depending on which side of the fence you sit on when it comes to raising meat rabbits, some say you can wean as early as 4 weeks, some wait till 8 weeks to even start, and stomping them as well. Yeah, I would just watch them very carefully. Hey, Warren's Rabbitry, how are you doing? Yes, they are class 6. Okay, I am glad I caught that because I was like, I think they're class 6, but it could. Hey, Dylan, no worries. Half the time I forget there's a live on Tuesdays too, and I'm the one hosting it. So that's embarrassing on my end. So I forget too. It's okay. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Oren has weighted great from the class 6, or class 4, but class 6 normally does better with something higher. I agree with that, but the thing was, is even my class, like even my compact types, right? Even my mini Rex were losing condition. And I was very frustrated with it. Hey, Greens, how are you doing? But no, I definitely agree that there's definitely some questions to talk about and some problems to talk about with the Oren feed in a class 4 compared to a class 6. So I definitely see that. But I was even having, like I said, I've been having trouble even with these guys losing condition. By the way, I like your voice. Oh, thank you so much. First show this weekend. Ooh, that's so exciting. What did you think of those cages? I loved your cages. I am very jealous of those cages. And I want those cages, at least for my mini Rex. Like that was so sleek. What you the picture you sent me, gorgeous. I love it. And again, I'm absolutely jealous. Interesting. Some lines just do better on other feeds and stuff. Oh, definitely. I completely agree with you. And my husband kind of wagged his finger at me. He's like, your rabbits were doing great on Grow. Why the heck would you switch it out for another feed? And it's like, because other breeders liked it. And he was like, let me go get you your feed again. And I was like, thank you. Oh, my husband dealing with the nonsense. So my scoop measures by quarter pounds. So when it comes to pounds, remember there are 16 ounces per pound. So a quarter of a pound is 4 ounces. I'm feeding Purina Show Rabbit. Nice. We're feeding Grow and Heinhold split 50-50. I'm going back to Grow 100% after I'm done feeding. Hi, weighing baby bunnies right now. Ooh, I love weighing baby bunnies. I would say I'm weighing baby bunnies, but more like I am just cuddling Daisy. That's all I'm doing right now. She's like, Mother, why did you move me? Hey, I have a question for you. I will try my best to answer it. Sometimes I have really great answers, and sometimes I stare blankly into the air. Are you reading on the computer and phone? Yes. So with work and getting back into the workforce, I don't have time to do lives on TikTok and on YouTube. So I have my YouTube up on my computer screen right here, and I have my TikTok on my phone right here. So I'm trying to get that taken care of, which, depending on my new schedule coming up, I might need to move my live schedule around, but I'm hoping to still keep it Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that is the hope, and I'm trying just to go back and forth on it because I don't want to necessarily cut down the amount I'm doing lives. So I just want to make sure I'm here because otherwise I'm going to be like, nah. I feed 2 cups a day to the cows, 2/3 of a cup to the lion heads a day, but the lions always have feed left the next day. That's how my mini Rex are. I feed about half a cup to the mini Rex per day. So a quarter in the morning, quarter at night. They always have leftovers, but they always act like they're starving. It's like, dude, you have food in your bowl. Why are you attacking a measuring cup when there's food still left there? If you're thinking about starting to breed rabbits for meat, what is the best breed that's friendly? I love my Rex rabbits and my silver foxes. Super friendly, super easy to handle, gorgeous colors. Like I said, those are the 2 breeds I prefer for size and meat. And pelts. Pelts are really good. Tamuks. Kenneth, that is a brilliant point as well. Kenneth says Tamuks. The only problem with them is they're not ARBA approved. So if you're also showing, it's a little difficult. Just something to keep in mind. And also with Tamuks, they do better in the hot than they do the cold, but that's because they are a composite rabbit that does better in the heat. But I've heard amazing things about Tamuks. That's how the Californians are, always hungry. They are. And I am going to fight you on that. Californians are not the best. I have had the worst luck with Californians. They're great meat rabbits, though. Rex 2 and silver foxes, satins. We might fight over the satin rabbits, too. Satins are little satans. Love your Rex. They are always my favorite breed. Oh, thank you. I love my Rex, too. I say petting my mini Rex. Apparently mine is Petrus feed. I don't think I've heard of that feed before. Starting with Tamux here in hot and humid Florida. Brilliant. I love it. I have a friend down there, Black Tropical Homestead. She I don't think she has Tamux. I think she just has New Zealand's. But she's down in Florida too. Let's see here. Awesome, because I do have kids. Yes, Rex are amazing for kids. My child can stick her arms all the way in the cage and I don't worry about a thing. Very lovely rabbits, kind of skittish at first, but then you get by balls of love. I just haven't had the best luck, especially with Hawk and Tati. It just wasn't a thing. Maddie, what do you say? You feed? Mana Pro Grow is what I feed Blessed with Pets. No, I lost the comment I was reading. Where did it go? Depends on what you're buying them from. I bought an unhandled duck and he is getting stew potted. I feel that. Very therapeutic to pet. Can't wait to get more since I moved. Yes, the Rex are so much fun to pet. That's the one thing I'm worried about, right? I feed show chow. Okay. I use Mana Pro show supplement as a top dress. Okay, so I'm a little biased on this. I love Mana Pro. Just as a general feed producer for rabbits, I love Mana Pro. I love their grow. Their show, I haven't got a hold of enough to really play with, but their grow formula has done amazing things with my kit grow outs. I love that brand just in general. So, and then, like I said, the formula for show looks absolutely fantastic. And my feed store is a jerk. So one time I ordered the Mana Pro show and they sent me the Mana Pro Pro and like the PRO, not the SHRO or SHO. I can't remember how show is spelled out on the bag. But I ordered the show and they gave me Pro and they're like, oh, it's the same thing. So don't worry about it. It's like, it is not the same thing. I will. Ugh. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. I had a moment in the feed store. I was like, it's not the same thing. And they're like, no, it's the same thing. It's just a different colored bag. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. The wheat middlings go from 3rd on the ingredients to 6th on the ingredients. That completely changes the formula. See, the Purina show rabbit has done 100% better than all the ones I've tried. I didn't like the Purina show, and it's super expensive where we are. But I do know people it's worked really well with. Rabbits are cheaper to raise from meat. Yes. Suggestions on how to explain raising for meat is normal. My boyfriend's still a little freaked out by it. So originally rabbits were bred for meat. It has always been their purpose from the beginning of domestication. I am jealous that it's $23 a bag for you for that. It is $29 a bag here, and it's ridiculous. So originally rabbits were bred for meat purposes. It's only been in the last 100 years that people have really gotten into rabbits as a pet. But it does bring up a stigma because so many have them as pets. But if we look at rabbits, they have an amazing meat to bone ratio and meat to feed ratio when it comes to production. They grow out very fast when it comes to meat. Most litters, depending on breed, can be butchered out anywhere from 8 weeks up to 16 weeks, which is a huge turnaround compared to a lot of other animals we breed for meat, which take months and months and months longer. A breeder told me Mana Pro wasn't good. That's what I was feeding, but she showed me a feed I'm not sure I can find. If you have a breeder that is selling you a food and tells you another food is crap, meaning they benefit from telling you another food is crap, always side-eye it and always verify. And they are second in leanness to venison. Greens, yes, perfect. I love it. Rabbits are cheap berries for me. Let's see here. No, blue silver fox. We're gonna fight. It's gonna be blue silver fox. Never chocolate. I love chocolates, but blue are better. I got a meat rabbit coming next week. She's a silver Martin Rex. Ooh, pretty. Um, da, 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 when is GA the best past year? I never had any luck with breeding. Either does didn't take. The best thing for breeding is moderate weather, not too hot, not too cold. Pure mini Rex. Sorry, I lost that conversation. You're gonna have to bring me in on the mini Rex thing. No, thanks. That's a spam risk. Thank you. Love your contact. Thank you so much. For me, it's not having set up and managing a brooder. That is another thing when it comes to raising rabbits. You don't need a brooder. You don't need an incubator. They just kind of like do their thing. And it's just, oh, my child doesn't have school tomorrow. Is it snowing? Why did they cancel school? It doesn't even look like it's snowing outside. Is that who I hung up on? Oops. My bad. Babe!
I know she doesn't have school tomorrow.
Good shit, thanks! We had snow. Yeah, I think we were supposed to get snow, but I didn't know it'd be bad enough where they'd cancel school. Any suggestions for selling a semi-aggressive doe mini lop? Just be upfront and honest about the fact that it has aggression issues. Since I've gotten that feed, their health has declined. Yeah, switch back to the feed that works for you, darling. Like, I'm preaching to the choir here because I know how I am. I switched to a different feed when my feed was working because people were having better luck on the Orin and I should have stayed with my feed overall. So I'm preaching to the choir, pot calling the kettle black. If it works for you, stay with it. I'm being hypocritical, I know. But I bred today a Valentine love. Oh, we need the line. Can you feel the love tonight? Dylan, you need lions now that you're into the wool game. So somehow I talked myself into a pair of Angoras instead of one. Dylan, I'm still only getting one once Daisy goes home. You can't see Daisy in my lap right now, but she's sitting in my lap. And I'm getting one Angora on our bet, Dylan. Just one. In all fairness, bad first-time moms can be discouraging too. Completely agree. Bad first-time moms are the worst. But you're looking, if you're on my TikTok crew, you can actually see the rabbits in my lap. This darling has been an amazing first-time mom so far. Her kids are 4 days old with very fat bellies, which I should probably get her back into her house. So I'll be right back in 2 seconds. I'm going to get her back into her home across the room so that she can chill without me bothering her. Why did I get you out? Oh, yeah, because I was showing. Here, there you go, baby girl. You have to go back to your corner. Now you get her more water. When you're playing with bottle again, you shouldn't have run out of water that quick, you heathen monster. I'm cleaning out our pen tomorrow. Okay, I'm back. All right, sorry about that. I'm telling you why. I agree with you, but Dylan and I have a bet about, and maybe Dylan can explain it, but Dylan and I have a bet about Angoras. I would love to start weaving wool, though. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. We had a Himalayan lost her kits. They were all outside of the cage on the ground. Tried to save them, but that really sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, so 3-strike rule. Somebody wants me to explain the 3-strike rule. So basically, in the 3-strike rule, it's 3 strikes against any animal in a breeding program. So for my does, if their mortality in their kits falls below, I'm saying that backwards. If their mortality rises in their kits above 50%, meaning they lose half their litter, that's a strike. Mom doesn't produce milk, that's a strike. Mom eats kits, that's a strike. Basically, it's just an arbitrary way of me being able to say they don't fit the breeding program. And I just make up the rules as I go. Have you ever seen in the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? How they say the rules don't matter. It's kind of the same thing. The rules don't actually matter. It's just up to you to say what is not worth it in your rabbitry for keeping an animal in it. And for me, that's just difficult mothers, does that refuse to breed, bucks who don't catch, that kind of thing. It's arbitrary. Like I said, it's like whose line. It's pretty much a bet saying, if you get one, I'll get one. Yeah, that's basically that's the best way to explain it. Mine get 1 strike, which which is perfectly valid. Perfectly valid. Some people do that. Some people do 3 strikes, and whatever works for your rabbitry works for your rabbitry. Some does I get sick of them, and I won't give them 3 strikes. Others I give more. I have one first-time mom going to Kindle at the end of the month. Hopefully, fingers crossed for you. I had an Angora buck, and he was the sweetest ever. The Angoras are so fluffy. I just want to squeeze them. Is it better to get an older doe that already had a successful litter or a younger one? It just depends. So, for instance, I bought Belle. Belle had 3 successful litters. For me, she was shit. And then I have bought does that they've never had litters before, and in the future, they're the best moms ever. So it's back and forth. And what do you feel comfortable with? Aggressive rabbits too. Warren's rabbitry, you are completely correct. Oh, in fact, I don't know if anyone else is a part of the Tealstone Homestead Facebook group, but Tiffany was talking about she culled her grand champion national winner Cream de Argent Tealstone's Warhead. And I felt that deep in my soul, and I feel just horrible for the situation. She had this gorgeous buck. And when I say he's a grand champion, like he did all the things, like he was in the Domesticated Rabbit magazine. Like he was a gorgeous rabbit. And he was just too aggressive to handle. He had marred her on several occasions, was biting, lunging, that kind of thing. And I felt like I read that and it hit me because I've been there. I've done that. I've had rabbits you just can't handle. And thankfully, it's never gotten to a point where I've had this just gorgeous rabbit that has just the greatest potential and needed to call it out for aggression like that. And I feel so horrible for the situation for her because I understand that she put so much time and resources into this beautiful rabbit that just was basically just an aggressive mess and no fault of her own. It's just hard to handle rabbit and she showed pictures that he got her good. He got her real good. And my heart goes out to her on that because I feel bad if I call out an older rabbit that's a grand or a really good looking rabbit just because they don't fill in their potential, let alone that situation where she didn't even have a baby out of this rabbit when she called it. That sucks. I have a doe leaving this weekend because her woolliness carried on to her babies. Are they like woolliness? You're gonna have to explain that to me, Greens. Not really big into lion heads. Was she too soft or did she have too much fur? Like, what do you mean by woolliness? But definitely I'm interested. I get that. That temperament is hard cull for me whenever species I'm working. Yes, I completely understand that, Rune. Like, hard culling for aggression is so important, but doesn't mean it doesn't suck, especially if it's a good looking rabbit. I had a New Zealand doe. She was pure evil, but a damn good mom. Had huge litters of 14 and more, and all lived. Jeez, 14 lived. That is perfect. That's glorious. Oh, Rick's getting in on it again. I just want to know if it's snowing, because should I jump off here and go feed my animals? Because normally I feed after my lives on Tuesday, but if we visit you guys, can we stay at your house? I don't have the extra room. Otherwise, I would say yes, unless y'all want to sleep on the pull-out couch. Then it's not like a couch, like you can pull it out. Then yes, 100%. But if you want a room or something, we don't have the space for that. But I do have a pull-out couch. Sorry. What would cause a rabbit to chew its fur off? I had a doe that was losing fur. She was chewing it. Did she have fur mites or any kind of skin rash? Was she itchy? And it wasn't a doe that was just getting ready to brood and pulling, right? That's why I can't have any more lion heads. The one I had was one of my favorites, and he got fly strike and I lost it. Oh, that really sucks. I'm sorry, Dylan. She has too much wool. Ears are supposed to be clean, and she has wool all over her ears, and they need to have a break mid-body. Hers don't. We're gonna put my standard of perfection to see what they're talking about. You hear what you're talking about, Greens, because I think I understand what you're saying. Where am I? That's Polish. Okay, how far back do I need to go? Is this the mini Rex? Mini Satins. I need to go back. Yeah, that's mini Rex. Not surprising. L. That's mini Lop. Mini Lop. Keep it to you. Just ignore me for a second, y'all. I'm going back on the SOP a bit here for Lionheads, so I can see what you're talking about on that. But again, I am not the best. Okay, Lionhead. All right, there's the Lionhead SOP. So I'm gonna reread. She's supposed to have. She has too much wool ears. Are supposed to be clean, and she has wool all over her ears, and then you have a break mid body. So when you say break mid body, right here, and then I'm guessing what you're saying is her ear fur right here is too long. That's what I'm getting from that. Please, I think I understand what you're saying in that. I think. All right. Anxiety. Anxiety could definitely cause a rabbit to chew. No rats. Have never been bred. She's a little crazy. I can tell you use your yeah. My SOP is very well loved. She is very. No, that's a saddle. Okay, let me reread your comment. She has too much wool in the ears. She has it all over, and they need to have a break mid body. So when you say mid body, so I see the no fur on the legs, like you said. Their front legs to separate mane and bib from flank with the wool. So basically, what you're saying is it's a bald spot from here that works around. Oh my god, my Holland Lopdo is so freaking stubborn. We've tried breeding her for 3 days. She won't lift. Ha! Greens, I got it. Yes! I see, I'm teachable. I'm teachable. Kind of. I'm just stupid sometimes. Let's see here. Somebody says, it's so hard to get clean ears on the lions. I also think the fuzzy ears are cute, even if out of standard. Legit. Your bird one said, I'm telling you, Rick has been on one tonight. But he's on one every time I'm on a live. And somebody may not believe me or not. I don't really care, but he's quiet most of the day. Normally, so here's how Rick works. I wake up in the morning. I sit on the couch. And like he'll come over to me and I'll drink my coffee. And he'll be like on my leg and I'll be scratching his head while I'm drinking my coffee. And then I'll feed him breakfast and he's quiet for the rest of the day. And throughout the day, I'll go over to him and I'll talk to him. I'll tell him he's such a pretty boy and he's so amazing. And he's quiet for most of the day. That was Samantha. That wasn't Rick. And he'll just be great. And he'll be so quiet and so just perfect. And then right before bed or right before we're live, he'll either start screaming like that or he'll start mimicking and calling the dogs and laughing at him. That right there. He'll sit there and go, Balto Thor. And those are the names of our dogs. And he'll sit there and he'll start calling out to them, being like, and then they'll come up to him and he'll laugh at them. So that's how Pickle Rick works. There he goes. I don't know if you can hear the higher pitched noises he makes. The screaming you can hear, but I don't know if you can hear in between where he's going, Balto, Thor, come here. Yeah. I'm on TikTok today. Heck yeah. I was on, I had a bit of a break yesterday where we weren't really doing anything, and I was chilling on TikTok. It was fun. I was antagonizing people. That's the best way to. I was just antagonizing people and poking. At least he's not swearing on stream. Oh, he'll sit there and go, cabron. It's like, dude, stop it. But he hasn't learned the English curse words yet. We love those people. I'm telling you, people are fun. Sometimes I poke at people for fun. I hope I have that luck. Blessed with pets, I hope your rabbit lifts like that too. Nah. There are some people that I'll get like, okay. So if my analytics drop on TikTok, it's not a problem with YouTube because my analytics are extremely steady on YouTube, and I love that about YouTube is they're very steady. Gotta head out Valentine's Day with family at 8:50. God bless y'all. Have a wonderful night, blessed with pets. I hope you have a wonderful dinner. Oh, my battery's going low. Yay. But I hope you have a wonderful dinner, dear. And hopefully I'll see you for your birthday next week. If not, happy early birthday. I hope it's a great one for you, but hopefully I will see you next week. And the face wool is another reason to have a clean face, and this dough doesn't pass that through. Okay. I would say I can definitely understand the face. Any Rex breeders? There are a lot of Rex breeders. 777 Rabbitry is where I got Lizzie and Emma, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I know they were talking about selling out last year. I need to see if they're still selling Rexes. We have a lot of people that sell Rexes, but they're just happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Pet Talk is a terrible place to be. Pet Talk is the worst place to be. And that's one good thing about my YouTube, I will say. My YouTube stays on the homesteading side, and I'm so happy over there. It's like a bunch of homesteaders I get to talk to, and I love it. And then over on TikTok, most of the time I'm over on the homesteading side, but I'm over on the farming side. But about once a month, TikTok is like, here, pet people, look at this. Now, why are you doing that? TikTok, I don't even have pet in any of my tags. You just think rabbit and pet goes together. And it's so frustrating. So frustrating at times. I'm staying away from Rex. Too many bad people that are not nice. I love the Rex, and I will stay there forever. Linehead breeding is a lot of hard culling and line breeding. I can definitely see that. I feel like when it comes to a lot of breeds like that, you just really want to keep those lines tight for the good stuff. It's easier to stray off. It's fun torturing Pet Talk, my current entertainment. It is fun to poke at them sometimes. It is fun to poke at them, I'm not going to lie. I do that. If I have an off day where I'm not doing much, I definitely do that if they're on my, controversy gets views, so the algorithm likes to stir the pot now and then. Basically, and you are correct, the algorithm loves to stir the pot. But sometimes the algorithm doesn't take my blood pressure into consideration. If I choose to stir the pot, okay, cool. But when the algorithm does it without warning, I want to take the algorithm and give it a very stern talking to. At least warn me, so I can be prepared for it. Like, gosh darn it. Sometimes it's like, guys, it's like algorithm, why? Algorithm, why? Yeah. The past couple of days, my comments on my TikTok rune have gone up over 150% just due to 4 people. 4 people. I like the Rex because they come in a lot of colors and they're easy to find, but that's as far as it goes for me. Same here. And I love the colors. I love my colors on my Rex. Rex is in way overabundance where I'm at, and I'm too lazy to finish the breeding to find a good line. I feel that. I do that. Like, I have 2 lines of my Rex. I have my good line and I have my chinchilla line, and I'll leave it at that. That's why I no longer have TikTok. I somehow ended up on the XXX side. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the circumstance of that. How did you end up over there? Thankfully, I'm not over there, and I've never ended up over there. Knock on wood. But that's quite a trip. Jesus. I will say though, my one friend, she got a TikTok, and she's like, "Why is my algorithm showing a bunch of half naked people?" And I go, "Give it to me." And I sat there for half an hour just flipping through funny pet videos and homesteading videos and blocking things to get her algorithm correct, just for her. On a good note, I should get I should be getting 4 new mini Rex from Hall Mass. Nice. I say mini Rex. I'm hoping to get some from Lee Phillips this year. That's my big thing. That's who I'm hoping to get from this year. If y'all know MMC, basically out of her barn and their lines of their mini Rex. Basically, it's just a conglomeration of people that they're in a barn together and they have perfect. The OnlyFans promo was ridiculously automatic delete account. No thanks, no. You know what? I feel that. I will say, when I get my algorithm tuned into the homesteading community, there's a lot of really good stuff, and I love the little short informational videos. But I try very hard to stay on that side, and so I stay on homesteading side. I stay on equine talk, vet talk. What else am I on over there? What else pops up? Sometimes I get the news. Sometimes I get conspiracy talk. That's fun. I want to get into Rex, but all the colors stress me out. You can totally cull your lines down to one or two colors. It's just a back and forth of what you want to do. I went from the Viking side to that. Oh, that's no fun whatsoever. That's quite the jump. I'm lucky I might get my cast off tomorrow, so I'm getting my rabbit numbers back. Heck yeah! Hopefully your cast comes off and everything's good to go. I say my my mind has been doing the worst things today when it comes to blanking out. I need to get more sleep. Thank you so much for the rose. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Number 1 glitter badge. Heck yeah. Thank you. But no, TikTok's algorithm can be great. But I will say YouTube is less crazy for me. It's not like out of the blue, like here are the things you don't want to see. It's more like consistent. TikTok's like, you want to try this? And I'm like, no, I don't, but thank you. I'm throwing the damn thing across the room. Right? My little sister, she has broken her arm, and she was a cheerleader, and she broke the 2 bones in her leg by the ankle when she was doing a full. Like, she twisted, and the bone went when she was in junior high. What's your favorite breed of rabbit and why? I kind of have a double answer to this. From a standpoint, I absolutely love the mini Rex. They are the first breed I started breeding, the first breed I ever really got into, so I always have a soft spot in my heart. But when it comes down to mini Rex, they're a horrible meat rabbit. They're too small. But if we're getting down into meat rabbits, I absolutely adore silver foxes. I love their fur quality. I love their silvering. And they are just the sweetest things ever. Like, silver foxes are amazing. Mini Rex are one of my favorites. Tricolors and the Harlequin. Did you see my Harlequin earlier? I had my Harlequin doe out earlier. She's my little mini Rex. She's my blue-eyed white carrier. She's my Vienna marked. I feel variety should be kept to a minimum. Makes it so much easier to focus on breeding for better overall structure. I would agree with you. Except I have some of the rarest varieties when it comes to mini Rex, and I don't want them taken away. I will cry. Let's see. My hand basically went to my wrist. It will be a lot of relearning. I bet it will be. Opinions on Champagne d'Argents. I personally have had the worst luck with them. I got them last year to try out. I got a breeding pair. My doe was the worst. I love my buck. He's a grand champion. He goes really well at shows. Every time I take him to a show, it's great. I love it. He's great. They threw the weirdest colors, and we had a whole debacle over that with one of the other champagne breeders. I talked to them about what it was about. I've had the worst luck with champagnes. I still have Moose, which is my buck. I have Belle's daughter, which is Cookie. And I'll be breeding them, but right now it's an inactive breed in my barn because it's just I've had the worst luck with them. I want to find an agouti New Zealand doe just to see what colors I get. That would be a lot of fun. We focus on torts only. We call out other varieties to go to other breeders to help their programs. Totally feel that. I should probably focus on one variety at a time, but I have the space to play with multiple varieties. So do that. With that being said, I do focus on a very small number. My main colors within mini Rex are my casters and my blue-eyed whites. And sometimes I just get some fun things thrown that I show and then I, like you said, I soft call. Let's see here. I did too. I got a trio. The bucks showed great, but the does never wanted to care for the kits. That's the exact same problem I had. My champagne does didn't want to take care of their babies, or I should say, champagne doe Belle didn't want to. It was so frustrating. I'm still trying to convince my husband we need to move to the silver fox. The silver foxes are just great. What is the most uncommon color in New Zealand rabbits? I would say blues probably. I don't know very many blue breeders, but I know a lot of white breeders, black breeders, and red breeders. And a lot of steel tip breeders, but they're more for meat than they are for show. They call it a sports coat. It's interesting. I really want blue and chocolate silver fox. I'm almost there on getting some chocolates. I want to focus on chinchillas and casters. I feel that. We have chinchillas in our standards and casters in our minis. That's very cool. Yeah, they are really cool. I really love the steel tips. They're beautiful. Greens, for your question of what's the most rare variety in New Zealand, he agrees that blues and brokens are the more rare colors. I didn't even think of brokens, so that is a great point. I don't see those often, so thank you. That is a wonderful point that just went completely over my head. I have blue New Zealand's. Nice. I say I love the blues. They're absolutely gorgeous. But again, I don't see them very often within the New Zealand world. I see a lot of red breeders, but I also love New Zealand reds. They are beautiful. New Zealand whites are meh for me. Like, they're great from a standpoint of pelt and meat when we're looking at them, but they're just not my favorite. Gotta run. Thanks for chatting. Anytime. Thank you for hanging out. I'm always here to chat when it comes to rabbits. I'll talk your ear off on them. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, I drive my husband nuts. We'll be alone and we'll be talking about something normal, and everything leads to rabbits. And he just sits there and he's like, "Thank you so much for the rose. I really appreciate it." But yeah, my husband, he's just like, "Do you ever talk about anything about rabbits?" I was like, no, I don't. And he just like kind of figured. It's like, I want to work on getting a blue Blanche Hodehorts for the fun of it. Oh, that would be cool. I don't do that breed and I don't see it very often, but they are very, very pretty. But for production, white is top. The other varieties haven't been bred for the growth rates like the whites have. I completely agree. And you are spot on that. It's one of the reasons they do so well in meat breeding. And the other varieties do have a lot of catching up to do. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get there. And part of the reason is a lot of people breed the whites because of how well they do at show and how well they do in their lines. And a lot of people, they want to go with what works and not necessarily for the challenge of something that doesn't, which totally understand. So just definitely something to look at and think about. But it's the same way with the mini Rex. We see the black and broken black constantly. My blue-eyed whites do not stand a chance against many black and broken blacks. And that is because they aren't as developed. And even if they are at that level, most judges hate my blue-eyed whites for no reason. Oh, there is reason, but for no reason. They're like, yeah, we don't like blue-eyed whites. And it's like, you guys are so mean. They're so pretty. But they'll fawn over the ruse, the red-eyed whites. I'll get there someday. My goal is to win at nationals with a blue-eyed white within my lifetime. That is my goal. Also, white is easy to show. The other varieties are easy to get faults for color. 100% correct. 100% correct. I agree with you on that. Whites are easier to show. Well, especially when we're talking about red-eyed whites. If we're just going to be on that topic, the red-eyed whites definitely are easier to show when it comes to faults. Especially I apologize. Especially when we're talking about like faults for nails and eyes, I've noticed in the other varieties. I never see blacks up here unless it's IFA. Are you talking about mini Rex? You never see black mini Rex? Are you are you serious? Like black is the biggest color down here, other than let me run through my catalog in my brain. Say blacks are really popular. Broken category is huge, and most of the time we see broken blacks in the that category. And then if we're talking about other solid colors, red-eyed whites are huge, and we see a lot of blues, a lot of blue mini Rexes. Um, the only reason I don't have white is for pea staining. My one blue-eyed white buck, I loved him. I bred him for quite a while into my blue-eyed white line. He would sit in the corner, and this is when I had solid bottoms. He would sit in the corner and then roll in it. So he would stain himself green and yellow because of how his hay sat in there, because I lined with hay instead of straw. And I was so angry because he stained himself. And it's like, now I can't show you. And even with the hydrogen peroxide mixture, his coat just always came off the wrong color. And I was so angry at him. And he was gorgeous. And it's like, dude, I just want to show you, and you are ugly and stained. Best thing, switching cages. I I will never switch from wire bottom cages, I'm telling you. Yes, mini Rex. That is crazy. What made you decide to go mini Rex? Mini Rex were the first breed I was ever introduced to. My best friend growing up, she lived behind me, and she had this long barn, and she had like 30 rabbits. 15 were mini Rex, 15 were silver martins, and she bred the mini Rex. And because of her, I got obsessed. And she introduced me to the rabbit breeding world and the show breeding. And I was just, and they were casters. And they were my one first true love when it came to the rabbits. So I just can't get away from them. Honestly, I'm the only one besides Hall Macy that breeds mini Rex and Vernal. Really? I need to go show where you're showing. We have like 20 mini Rex breeders in the state right now. Probably more, to be honest, but I'm going to round it down. Have you ever tried Listerine mouthwash to get out stains? I've heard it works pretty good. No, I need to try that. Well, that I know of. I totally get that. Like, we have breeders come out of the woodwork that only come to show like once a year. And sometimes I miss them. Like we're passing ships in the wind. Mini Rex was my first breed. I focused on broken blacks and tries. Try is the other color that's super popular in Mini Rex. I also love a good try though. Like when they get that pattern nice and balanced, especially when it's the orange and black color, absolutely stunning. But yeah, mini Rex. I'm telling you, mini Rex are just, they're my one and only love. No, not really. I love the silver foxes. I'm just being flamboyant. I gotta feed my fish. I keep forgetting to feed these guys. I say that, but I still end up feeding them at least every day. Sometimes I feed them twice a day because it's like, did I feed these dum-dums today? Oh, babies. I gotta. There we go. All three of them. I have three little. So I have a tank like that, and I have like three little tetras. They're like literally like this big. They are the tiniest little tetras. I have three of them. They just swim around with the snails and the plants. He's cute little fish. I love them. I have two embers. No, two fires and one ember. So they're just cute. Ran a chocolate line for a bit, but didn't last long. We have been losing out on chocolate lines. They used to be super popular in the state, and now they're dying down a bit. And people are trying to get into lilacs. And as somebody who shows lilac lines, like I have my my base lilacs, and then I have otters and the agouti version, which is the lynx. I don't like that people are getting into lilacs because it's not that I don't like competition. It's that a lot of times they're breeding some weird things into them, and it's like, why are you putting that into your lilac lines? And it's like, I'm going for a silver fox, but there's a part of me that looks at jackrabbits and wants a Belgian hare. That I'm sure I'd regret that for everything. Belgian hares. For one, they're super expensive. The cheapest one I've ever seen is like $200, but they are spicy. Oh, they're so spicy. Is there anything specific that you do to start raising show quality rabbits? So the first thing you want to look at when raising show quality rabbits, this is the standard of perfection. Mine is beat the heck up. Figure out what breed you want, learn your standard of perfection, and find people that breed to that quality. That is the best way to start breeding show rabbits. Get the best you can afford when it comes to type and quality. It'll save you a lot of hassle and a lot of money in the end. Thank you for always explaining rabbit info in a way newbies can understand. I try, and if I ever jargon out on someone, y'all have every right to yell at me and to be like, whoa, 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 what the heck are you talking about? Because sometimes I jargon out, and I try not to. I get so excited. My kids are the only reason I have lion heads. If it wasn't for them, I have mini Rex again. I feel like my children didn't have a choice. I'm like, here's a mini Rex, you're showing it. I'm like, you don't have a choice. We're showing mini Rex, which my eldest loves showing her mini Rex, but she saw the fluffy bunnies and she's like, oh, Mom, I want one of those. I think it was a Jersey Woolly. She's like, I want one. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. You're not doing Woolies. Oh, wow, that's another reason I regret that. Right. The Belgian hares are glorious, but there's not many of them, and they're very expensive. Where Belgian hares are so pretty, and a unicorn where I'm at. I saw one. It was for sale in Eastern Rabbit sales group that I'm in on Facebook. And I can't remember where exactly it was from. All I know it was East, and they were transporting. They were doing a transport train. Don't go cheap to start, but the best, and pay attention to pedigrees. Yes, pedigrees are so important. And if you learn to read pedigrees, the sooner you learn to read, like, somebody's going to cry when I read out my Blue-Eyed White's pedigree from my very first. Let me see if I can find my very first Blue-Eyed White's pedigree. Y'all will cry. Y'all will cry at her pedigree. Let me find it here. We'll all cry and laugh together at the first, because remember, I didn't know chocolates weren't allowed. Let's see, Blue Kazoo, Gigi, Saddle Up, Sadie, Solstice, Chestnut, Hatches, Silly Sally. All right. So, first generation, Blue-Eyed White and Castor. Good, good. Grandparents, Vienna marked Lynx, chocolate variety. Vienna marked chocolate variety. I should have, if I would have known, and then on the other line, Try and Broken Black, which not that bad. But the grandparents on the buck side, on the Blue-Eyed White, were chocolate varieties. And if I would have known that when I first bought my first Blue-Eyed White, I wouldn't have bought her. I was an idiot. Didn't know. Now I know, though, and I get chocolate throwbacks. But thankfully it doesn't affect them like much anymore. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Well, we can all cry together. What do you do when rabbits have false pregnancies? I just rebreed them. That's all I do. It sucks, but I rebreed. If you ever go on a trip to Wrigley, let me know. I still want to get a caster from you. Oh, definitely. If I need to, I know there's a couple of people I need to talk to when I go to convention to see if we're all meeting there or not. When you get your Angoras, just tell Danny it's for the kids. I'm getting one as soon as Daisy's gone. As soon as Daisy goes back with my sister after she's done with college, I'm getting an Angora, and I'm going to tell Danny that. He's going to lose his mind. I'm going to have this giant fluffy bunny. He's just going to sit there and be like, why did you do that? And it's like, look how fluffy it is. It's for the kids. It's Nana's baby now. Nana's. 2 days ago, she had Daisy in her lap, my 1-year-old. She had the rabbit in her lap, but she's just petting it like this. And she's just going, bunny, 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 bunny. Like, she loves the rabbits. But I have to sit there and, like, watch her because, like, she's one. That's one way to tell what colors you're going to expect and how well their background are. Exactly. I completely agree. other than the mix up with the chocolates and the pedigree that I really didn't understand with the blue-eyed whites when I first got into the color, they weren't bad. They did really well at show. Like, you look in her pedigree and they have legs, they have grand champions in their pedigree, and they have really what about that chocolate, that red flag. It was again, if I would have known, I wouldn't have gotten her. But I don't regret any second of having Silly Sally in my lines because she's the dam of all of my blue-eyed whites. I've just been dealing with that the entire time I've had my blue-eyed whites. In my opinion, breeders who don't have pedigrees that have the info or want to charge for it is red flag. Yes, I have a lot of breeders where they charge for pedigree, and it's a bit of a side eye. Like, if you want to run your rabbitry that way, okay. But I personally, if I have a person who charges extra for the pedigree, it's a little, unless, okay, if I have the information and I am selling a brood quality, like I go up to you, like I have a friend up the road. He has bought several of my silver foxes that are brood quality for his meat mutt program. And I didn't give him the pedigrees because he is breeding for meat mutts for his family to sustain him. He doesn't get the pedigree, and I give him a lower price because they're just brood quality. Like, I had a couple that had little white marks on their nose, which would be cute. That's different. But if you're selling them as show quality and you want to charge extra for pedigree, it's a little weird for me. But again, I'm not one to say it's not a way to run your program either. Do you breed Holland Lops? I do not breed Holland Lops. I don't breed any lop breeds, and that is because we live in a very cold environment, and they would definitely get frostbite in the barn because I don't have air conditioning or heat or any of that. Let's see. Around here, good double mane lion heads are harder to get. The market is flooded with horrible-looking single-maned ugly rabbits for a lot of money. I have seen that. I have seen poor quality lion heads. It's the same problem. Greens, I know you have them for your kids, so I don't know how long you've been breeding. In the early 2000s, when they approved the COD, that was a huge problem then as well. So hearing is still a problem it's a little frustrating. And I totally feel your pain on that. Yeah. I like fluffy. The double-headed lion, like the good looking ones, they're so fluffy. I love them. But I can totally see where you're coming at from a single-maned lion head. Just make sure when you get one, it's a buck, because if you get a doe, it's awesome. Yes, check your sexes on when you buy a rabbit. Make sure they are what you are buying. I have not had that misfortune yet, but I've heard so many issues with other people who have. That's when I was just in my last year 4-H showing mini Rex, and I hate it. You and I are now best friends. I hated lion heads when I was in 4-H. Right when they were just becoming a breed on the COD, I was so angry about the breed because of how long the COD was taking to get approved, how many people were breeding crap stock, and the pet market was just flooded with them. And I agree. I hated lion heads when they were first becoming a breed. Despised them because it was literally, it seemed like cash grab. It seemed like, it was never going to become a breed and it was just going to fall out of popularity. So I totally get that. Totally get that when the lion head first came out. Now that they're actually a breed and people are actually breeding well-formed lion heads with their nice, beautiful manes, yes. They were so ugly. Everyone and their brother wanted them. Right? I agree. Now there's some really nice stock, but I agree with Dylan. The pet market is still flooded with them, and that's because they're cute and they're fluffy. But the problem is a lot of people don't know how to care properly for a rabbit, let alone a rabbit with any kind of wool or long fur. I love lion heads. My buck is a Barbie doll, but it's hard to get him a girlfriend. I feel that. You need to talk to Green. You're over here on my TikTok, over on my YouTube. I have a friend over here. He's a lion head breeder, and if you could see some of his torts, they are gorgeous. He has sent me quite a few pictures, and I'm just like, oh my god, they're so gorgeous. And now I need lion heads, but I don't need lion heads. We're not doing this. Beautiful stock, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, finding a good lion head, especially with how heavily invaded the pet market is, it's difficult. It really is. My girls won't breathe. They're about to go. That's been a problem with a lot of people lately. Um, Hello, Julie. How are you doing? I ran into a lot of people selling single mains for show, and I showed them mine, and they drool over them. I bet they do. I drooled over your pictures, man. Those lion heads were gorgeous. And I'm not one. I don't like the way they're posed up, like that kind of like upright pose. It's not my favorite when it comes to the rabbits, but yours are majestic and floofy and just like gorgeous. I love it. Um, Not to step on toes, they're comparable to doodle breeders in some cases. They really are. But there are a lot of breeds where they mix the breeds. And it's very comparable to doodles. And this is coming from a person who has a doodle. If y'all haven't heard the doodle story and why Panda is the way he is, I got a doodle before they were popular. He was absolutely free and he's still a mess. I will never get another one, but he was free. And I was 15, 16 years old when I got him. It's just, yeah. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. I'm still laughing over burning my dog, though. He's so ugly. I love him. Pretty good. My mixed litter is doing fantastic. Still waiting on the mini Rex babies. Your mini Rex are holding out on you, but I'm glad your mixed litter is doing well. I'll send you a current picture of my number one kit. Yes, please. They have a pose like Netherlands. They do, and I hate that pose, like that upright pose. I hate it. I don't like it. Just like I don't like a running pose, and I don't like the mandolins. I'm partial to compact and commercial. That's it. That's it. How many quail do you have in the Do More cages? I never even thought about them and was about to build one. 5 hens, 1 roux per cage. Sometimes for my silvers, I throw in an extra roux because the hens are nasty and the roux help. But normally, anywhere from 6. I think the most I've had in them are 8. But normally I keep a breeding set, so 5 hens, 1 roux per cage. And they are fantastic. The only thing is be careful on the sides. The eggs can roll out. So either be aware of that or set it up to where it doesn't roll out. Gonna head out. Good night. Good night. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. The hardest thing is they have 2 fur types. I could see that with the saddle and then the woolly fluffy fur. I could definitely see that. My uncle has a Springer Doodle and looks into the dog's eyes. The lights on, but no one's home. That is Panda. The lights are on, but no one's home. That is my doodle to a point. He is, and the thing is he's a cattle dog poodle mix. And even though I know both of his parents because of what happened, and again, this was, what is he? He's 11 now. This was 11 years ago. And it was before the doodles really took hold. I had 10 of them on my desk. And if the farmer's name was Russ, if Russ knew how much those puppies were worth today and the fact he just gave them all away because he didn't want them, and oh my God, he would have had a brain aneurysm. He had 10 of those dogs and he was just getting rid of them left and right. And he was so pissed off at his neighbor because his neighbor bred standard sized poodles and her stud jumped the fence and tagged his blue heeler before he could get her fixed. And it was really before the whole ethical dog talk and the whole spay abort thing. And 11 years ago was a long time when it comes to dog breeding. So free dog. He's a genetic mess. Lights on. No one's home. His fur type is horrible. But I love that dog. I will never get another one, though. Those damn mini Rex are going to drive me up the wall. I'm currently holding a bet with my friend that my dwarf Hodo will give me a litter first. I feel that. The mane and the skirts are wool. The saddle is a rollback. I need somebody to bring a mini Rex to show so I can watch it at my show. That way I can actually listen to the judges talk about it. Because I'm one where you can talk this through with me, but until I see it, for the most part, it's going to go whee. But I'm also one where if my rabbit's not on the table, I'm like at the table listening to the judges, and they're not even my breeds, and I'm like, yes, tell me more. TikTok just was like, you just been live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break. And I probably should. I need to get out and feed those rabbits. I'm 25 minutes late, and I feel like they're going to eat my fingers. Considering them dogs are worth 1K, it is insane. Right? Russ would have died, because Russ was a very humble farmer. He didn't have much. He didn't have much at all. Read and read and read. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have been through this book so many times, but again, even reading through, unless they're on a table in front of me, because I'm a very visual learner, a lot of the stuff goes through my head. Like, it'll be in my mind, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. But until I actually see it, and then it's like, oh, and then it really gets in my brain. No, I haven't read about the lion heads, and the reason I haven't read about the lion heads is the same reason that you and I talked about earlier. And it's that for the longest time I hated them. I hated them, and then they're that upright position. So that's another reason. So no. But the ones I have read over and over are, of course, my breeds, and then every other breed I've been interested. So Cream de Argents I've been through a million times. The Champagnes I've been through a million times. The Americans, the Beverins. What else have I read through? The Palominos. Basically anything commercial. No, we will fight over the cylindrical types. I love it. I love the little rolling pen babies. We had some girl at show. She put her cylindrical rabbit on the table and she rolled it like a rolling pen. And ever since then, I was like, this is glorious. And the rabbit just took it. He's just like, oh yes, this is how we pose. And she like rolled him out, and it's like, aren't the frosty Czech rabbit? That's not in that. But the ones that just got approved this year, the Czech rabbits, the frosty Czechs, the Czech frosties or whatever, aren't they also cylindrical? I feel like they're cylindrical. Picking with rabbits, anyone? Yeah, right. It was, oh my god. It was a little kid too. She was adorable, but at the same time, we all looked at her in both horror and just like hilarity. We were just all like, she's like, that's how I pose them. And it's like, and this kid was like 7, 8 years old, and we're just all like, but yeah. Yeah, they are an upright cylindrical. Ugh. I haven't seen those at show yet. I don't know what to think about them yet, and I haven't looked through the big paper that came out that was like, oh, these are all the approved. I don't know what to think about it yet. But again, I haven't seen them in person either, so I don't even know. And it's taken me this long to even enjoy the lion heads, let alone this brand new breed that's just come out. They look interesting on the photo, but again, I've never seen them in person. Yes, they are an upright cylindrical. Okay, they pose with their head and front legs up, and the rest is cylindrical. I don't know if I like that. Upright cylindrical. I don't know if I like that, to be honest. Again, I'll have to see them in the show to really. So I finally got out of mini wops, and someone I sold a breeding pair to decided she didn't want them, so I'm getting them back. That's how I feel about the mini Rex. I'm constantly like right now my mini Rex. I have, what do I have? I have Strawberry, I have Cyrax, I have Velma. That's my trio in the barn. And then I also have in the house I have Gigi and Daisy. So technically, I have 5 mini Rex, and that's it. That's it. That's how I position my rabbits before I butcher them. Dylan, that's horrible. That's a horrible joke, Dylan. It's horrible. On that note, I want to stay on longer. I can go feed my rabbits and see why the heck they canceled school. And I need to go get Dallas a blanket. It's supposed to be cold tonight. I don't want Dallas, my poor freaking mare of a child, to get too cold. So I'm gonna jump off here. Goodbye, TikTok. I'm gonna exit out here first. Thank y'all, and as always, I'm going to awkwardly press the exit button. Bye. And all right, now we just have TikTok left. Sairaya will be home in about a week. Heck yeah, nice. But you will have to send me pictures on the ticket of Taka. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna head off here. I have been on here now for about an hour and a half, which is 30 minutes longer than I normally do, but I just got distracted because I love talking to y'all. And yeah, I've seen them at 4 shows. Now also the Blue Hollister is the same. We're gonna need to talk about that. I don't think I've ever heard of that. We need to talk about that one, Greens. Bye, Rune. Bye, everyone. Before y'all get me distracted again, I am going to exit off as much as I love our conversations and everything. So, bye. It was great talking to everyone tonight. Bye. I'm going to awkwardly press the exit button as always.